So there we have it today. The event, which was scheduled to take place today and yesterday, about Hey Hi, or AI, artificial intelligence, has basically been uh, been pretty much what you might expect. It's just about a panel of people speaking through webcams about the supposed role of AI in everything that's kind of revolutionary and exciting. And Mr. Campinas, in his usual fashion as of late, he kind of shows up with his sneakers on, and he sits, this time for a change, he sits a bit of a distance away from somebody else. He comes to some sort of a studio, and, the usual photo operation, the president of the EPO is there to discuss the things which it doesn't really understand, but, he's there to just basically speak and represent the office. Now, pretty much as we expected, it's the so-called chief economist of Benoit Battistelli is there. If you scroll down a bit, you will find his name, and it's a whole bunch of waffle, and it mentions SMEs and academics, and in this case it mentions here, you can see IP professionals, which basically means things like lawyers, but not actual software developers. The usual thing that they do is they kind of conflate two things. They tend to mix together the concept that just because you can generate patterns automatically using a computer, we should somehow assume that computers are extremely sophisticated, and that they could not do this before, when in fact it was always possible to even generate some sort of scholarly papers, not necessarily very rational ones, using a computer. There's lots of things you can do with a computer, and that's not actually an innovation. But they go a step further, and they basically try to convince you that that patents on the logic of a computer themselves are something that would be not just necessary for society, but needing of so-called protection or monopoly. They say things like a classifier, which may have been implemented in the past using this particular application. So it might be something like how to avoid collision in a car using a neutral network. They would pretend that this sort of mathematical statistical method is somehow innovative, and it's not really innovative, and it's been done many times before. However, you couldn't get a patent on it, but the EPO is very eager to give people patents on mathematics and stuff like that, so now we're supposed to get all excited. I haven't properly read the entire article. I'm going to write something very fast about it. And this is pretty much as expected. You can see here further down, you can see Fourth Industrial Revolution, which is another kind of buzzword. It doesn't really mean anything. And when you're talking about Fourth Industrial Revolution, it's just kind of a very poor attempt by the office to come up with buzzwords. This was done by the chief economist of Battistelli. It was done by Battistelli himself. Sometimes they throw all sorts of acronyms like ICT, or there was another one that's Industry 4.0, which again it's pretty meaningless. There isn't really a 3.0. They just go back in time and make a revisionist history where you have Industry 2.0 and 3.0. It's just nothing. I think that's kind of a symptom of what the European Patent Office is becoming, and it's just really horrible and creepy to think that something that was supposed to be established for science is just run by people who are into marketing and just sitting there with their sneakers on, and talking in abstract terms of things like innovation and AI, and it's just meaningless.